Wonderful. Well, welcome. I'm delighted to have Jeff Gordon, CEO of BrightWise, with me today. Jeff has been a vendor of mine for promotional items and for trade show products, and I'm a big believer in adding this as part of your overall marketing plan to put promotional products in to stimulate, get some interest going, startle, and appeal to your audience that you're trying to network with and make an impression with. So welcome.
Thank you,
Um,
Jan. Good to be here.
yeah. So I think, we both are familiar that, and there's these new terms of relationship marketing that a lot of people are really well familiar with. And I think people that might be listening to this might have heard of that. But maybe you can start us off by talking about how we came out of database marketing.
Well, it's interesting because database marketing was the original term that kind of got the whole data-driven marketing process going, and was actually a precursor to what we now call relationship marketing. Because in relationship marketing, it's all about using the database to isolate and find customers, prospects, and so forth, and to really determine mostly lifetime value of a customer, because the lifetime value model, especially for us in promotional marketing, is really key to understanding how to budget and how to look at the relationship with your customer in the context not of short-term objectives, but of long-term.
Right,
And so,
right.
yeah,
A lot of us kind of get involved in the latest campaign, but aren't really planning for, let's go out a year. What do we plan for our coming year? And this is kind of apropos right now because a lot of people are doing their 2023 planning. So this is a great time to incorporate this as kind of another pillar in that marketing program.
yes. And with respect to relationship marketing, what I find interesting, Jan, is the focus on the database rather than on the relationship itself. And I always like to liken relationship marketing to the low tech side of
Hmm.
things, and going from a digital to a physical type of relationship marketing, very much similar to the whole courtship process one might go through in dating leading to marriage. So, for instance, on a first date, you might bring flowers to your date to make a nice impression. In a way, that's a promotional product. It's not branded, but in a way, it does communicate a branded message that I am interested in you, and I bring you these flowers to start off our relationship nicely. And
It's one of many touches that you wanna have going on. So I love the idea of that. That analogy really hits home, I think.
yes, and you continue on to the many touches throughout a relationship. One might give gifts, and
Mhm.
ultimately leading to a engagement proposal in which a ring is provided, an engagement ring, which is another symbolic gesture that carries all sorts of meaning, and yet it's an object, but it's an
Right.
object that's imbued with the love that that person has for the person that he or she's going to marry. And that's the same approach that one should take to their customers. Love your customers and battle your competition to be the one brand that represents a relationship and not just a product that the company is supplying or service.
So how does promotional marketing fit in and tie in with direct response marketing?
It's interesting because I've always seen what we do as a form of direct response, or at least strategically, the types of things that I've been involved in and like to be involved in are campaigns. And a lot of people will talk about promotional marketing in the context of promotional products. but promotional marketing is really the strategic framework under which things like promotional products, which would include imprinted branded merchandise, but
Mhm.
can also include things that are not branded and used not as a giveaway to build goodwill or as part of a direct mail campaign or a trade show handout, but the strategic framework of promotional marketing allows you to look at the total objectives that you have. And
Okay.
with respect to what I was going to say, premiums, unimprinted merchandise, premiums and incentives are also merchandise, but they're earned rather than given away. And so, as
Mhm.
something that's earned, they can be used to stimulate action by the consumer, whether it's to stimulate trial or to make more purchases, like frequency, come back. And also, incentives are used for the sales force or the trade or the channels of distribution. So that's one of the things that promotional marketing tends to focus on more so than traditional advertising is the three big targets, the consumer, the trade, and the sales force.
You
And with
make a really great point here, and this speaks to the thing we discussed at one point about giveaways, that we all are under this impression that these promotional items are giveaways, and that's actually not the right way we should be thinking about. We should have a more broader view.
Exactly. And I've always said you shouldn't give away anything unless you're expecting something in return. Even the simple act of giving something away, uh, whether it be at a trade show or face to face or at a meeting, it's not being given away just to give away. It's because you expect something back. And the law of reciprocity acts on this basis. If I do something for
Mhm.
you or give you something, you have an obligation, or you feel a certain obligation to me to even the score. That can be, I'll give you a face-to-face meeting because you sent me this thing in the mail and I feel obligated, or give you a referral, or have you back in, or even take your call the next time you call.
Yeah. So one of the things I talk about a lot is ROI. I wrote a book about it, but when you say that there's a way to measure this kind of campaign, talk about that.
Okay. Well, again, it depends on the strategic context in which it's being used. And so if you're doing traditional direct mail, and let's say you're using flat mail and
Mhm.
you're generating a response rate of X, you can test the addition of something dimensional that can go into your mailing envelope that adds some puffiness and lumpiness and can increase the readership. And as you know, the more people that open your mail, the higher response
Yeah.
rate you'll get as an average. So you can sometimes test the insertion of a lumpy item into what would be traditionally a flat mail package, and literally measure the impact against the additional cost. So if you get 10 face-to-face meetings or 10 responses versus 3, but it's only cost you another several hundred of dollars per thousand that you mail, it comes back to you in the form of increased facings with customers, or sales, if you will, if you offer these items as an incentive. The other side is we also do a lot of creative type of outer envelopes, such as FedEx style mailers that can be sent out by mail or by FedEx. And because people are accustomed to seeing these types of mailers from FedEx or UPS or even DHL, when you receive a branded envelope that looks like a FedEx envelope, it has that sense of immediacy and urgency
Mhm.
that a mail package would, and can generate even higher response rate. But always the cost of it needs to be looked at in the context, I believe, not only of the immediate return, but we have to look at lifetime value again of
Mhm.
a prospective customer. So if the lifetime value of a prospective customer may bring in, thousands or tens of thousands of dollars worth of revenue over time, then I look at that and say, how can we budget to allow for us to get to that stage where we have a loyal lifetime customer? And so some of the things that are done up front, for instance, in the consumer realm, clothing manufacturer, Land's End, uh, historically has taken a loss on their initial sale when they do a trial, but that comes back to them later in
Oh,
repeat
sh
business.
Mhm.
So there's many different ways to budget. They're very similar to any other type of advertising. The task method, what we need to accomplish, or the return on immediate investment, and what are we looking to accomplish? Is it generating sales? Is it getting continuity or frequency of purchase? Even are we trying to develop our database and doing some type of even email, digital campaign to collect information and offering an incentive or a premium or gift for people to do that is an excellent way of developing and enhancing your own database to get valuable information that allows your sales force or principals to go in with a more targeted effort when they reach out to that customer in a
Yeah.
direct way.
Yeah, it is very nice these days. You can retarget customers that have come to your website and send them something in through direct mail. So
Hmm.
that's kind of another kind of campaign that you can do beyond the one that you plan. Now,
Hmm.
maybe you can talk about either event driven or not necessarily event driven kinds of items that can be incorporated into a campaign. An example of cost. I know you brought a mug to kind of talk about a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I did bring a mug, which is a diner mug. And I only brought it because even today, mugs are a ubiquitous promotional product.
Mhm.
And so when somebody is looking to do a mug, we would always ask, why? What are you trying to accomplish? But at the end of the day, coffee mug, coffee is the universal beverage of goodwill.
Uh-huh.
So, and probably 9 out of 10 people drink coffee or tea or even hot chocolate. So they can always use a mug, but a lot of mugs are just sort of ho-hum. And these days, with the pandemic, we're finding people are going for, comfort. And so the traditional diner mug, and when I say traditional, that has this rounded area that you can hold
Uh-huh.
it, is something that harkens from the past. And since everything old is new again,
Yep.
and people are looking for nostalgia, that's just one way in which you can take the idea of a mug and come up with the right shape
The right
or style
message.
that's going to tie in. But to your question about events or a campaign, coffee mugs we've used for B2B customers, and even some B2C can do this. But sending out a coffee mug in the mail with a package of coffee, and then doing a follow-up monthly or quarterly in which you send out another type of coffee or hot beverage or even liquid, cold beverage that one can use in that mug, each time reinforcing an important aspect of your sales message. So you can develop a program sales message over time. And as you're obviously sending these things out, they're puffy and they're going to get opened and appreciated, and the staying power and the amount of impressions that somebody gets every time they look at a mug probably makes the cost per impression lower even than digital marketing. And I'm not knocking digital marketing. Digital and physical have to work together.
Yeah.
And
And,
the
and
yeah, go ahead.
And I think that's one of the things that so many of us have become infatuated with everything digital that we forget you have to do a lot of touches to make your point or to get that sale. It's not one touch. It might be 13, it might be more. So incorporating a different kind of item that comes in a different way, a different channel, sending something in direct mail really, or providing it in a trade show environment is really a different way to come at people with something they'll remember. It
Mhm.
doesn't go away like an email. It's right there. Like you say, it's another impression every time they look at it when they're using it.
And let's
Um,
talk about trade shows for an
yeah.
example, because you can use email marketing to reach out to prospective trade show attendees and invite them into your booth to pick up a gift. And you can go further, since you have the ability now with digital to say, hey, we have reserved a t-shirt for you. And if you simply fill out this form with your shirt size, we'll have it waiting for you when you come in and pick it up.
Great
The other
idea.
thing that's fun, and we've done this before, is a two-part trade show mailing where we send out one item and invite the prospect to come into the booth to pick up the matching item.
Mhm.
For example, we sent out a coffee coaster and invited the prospect to come in and pick up their matching coffee mug. Furthermore, both the coaster and the mug were personalized with the recipient's name on it. And I
Awesome.
can't begin to tell you the value of personalization. We all love to see our name in print. And so the response rate to that, people coming in to the show, was about 15%, which was very good for the type of product that they sold, which was $100,000 and up testing type of equipment. So they're dealing with some engineering types of people and people who are kind of resistant to sales efforts.
Oh, interesting. That's a neat way, a great example. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So as we kind of look beyond into next year's planning, what are some suggestions? I know one of the things that you do best that's so good is to brainstorm with people and talk about the process that you go through a little bit.
Well, a lot of times people will come to us and they already thought that they want a promotional product. And we always like to ask why. What are you doing with it? What are you trying to accomplish? And generally, if we hear giveaway, we try to go deeper, back to the notion that you don't want to give away anything without getting something in return, even if it's a soft return like thank you for sending me this holiday gift, or an email that acknowledges what you did. That's a way to measure. But with respect to brainstorming, we like to look at what does the company do, and what is their unique selling proposition, and how can we leverage that against the right kind of promotional
Mhm.
product. For instance, if you're in the lumber industry, this is something that's new that just came in. This is a wooden
Uh-huh.
magnet, and it looks like it's a tree. So it can also serve as a coaster. So if I was working with a lumber company, I might be looking for wood promotional products. On the other hand, we were talking to a company recently that makes equipment that goes into those tanker trucks that carry liquefied petroleum and other types of chemicals.
Uh-huh.
And we were looking for a holiday gift and found some food products that were packaged in a replica of a tanker truck.
Mhm.
So these are options that are available when we have the opportunity to brainstorm and
Mhm.
to learn more about what the company has done in the past as well. But mostly it's, what do you want to accomplish other than just giving this thing away? And
Right.
then we work from there and develop a custom presentation with the rationale for why this item or why that item.
Can you give an idea of the kind of lead time when people are planning these projects?
Well, thank you for asking, because lead time for products may be short, but development time for a campaign, whether
Mhm.
it's an email or direct mail or a trade show, like to have 3 months out. On the other hand, we do a lot of importing of
Mhm.
products still, and that takes longer. And
Sure.
so even working 6 months out in the planning stage is good.
That's great to know. I think people need to be thinking, long term, what do I want to do and accomplish over 6 months to a year,
Mhm,
rather than, oh, I can still knock something out for these holidays. So
mhm.
it's important that people know we want to encourage them to do the direct mail that they can do now with what we have left for the holiday season.
Yeah, everything's about planning and trying to leverage opportunities to stand out. You mentioned holiday gifts, and
Mm.
right now here we are towards the end of November, and it might be a little tight for somebody to get a gift into somebody's hand before the, quote unquote holiday. On the other hand, you can use other holidays that happen after the beginning of the year, whether it's New Year's or my favorite, Valentine's Day, is a
Mm.
great way to send out a gift to a customer to say thank you, we appreciate you, we love you, etc. Most people don't get a Valentine's Day gift from anybody other than a friend or spouse. And if you receive something in the mail or from a direct distribution on Valentine's Day as a customer, regardless of the industry, you're going to stand out from the
Right.
crowd.
What a nice surprise.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you want to share that's top of mind that you think would be helpful to people listening in?
I think that the important thing is to see promotional products as something that fits into an overall campaign
Mhm.
and can achieve various promotional objectives through the strategies that we have, whether it's stimulating trial, building traffic at an event or even online,
Mhm.
or at a webinar or seminar. Uh, Frequency of purchase, just like in any relationship marketing program,
Right.
you want to get people to come back. Depending on what kind of product you have, finding other usages for it, and developing a premium around those other uses. So I would just say that you would want to approach promotional marketing the same way you do direct response. To me, they can almost be one and the same, because even if you're handing out an item, it's direct response. Instead of mailing it, the distribution is by hand.
Right.
So I see what you and I do, and we've worked together before, hand in hand, and you have, and your customers have all the capabilities to develop, production of their creative. But when it comes to coming up with an item, I think we really shine because we're marketers too.
Well, I love the way that I could just come to you and say, okay, we've got 3 tiers of holiday gifts that we want to give out this year. Here's what I'm looking about as a budget per item. What have you got that would play into this? And we could kind of take our brainstorming, launch from there. So maybe you can share how people can get a hold of you.
Well, you can reach us toll free at 888-794-6252, or you can go to brightwise.com, which is BRIGHTWISE. It'll actually forward you to our website that contains promotional products that you can look through yourself. But we're always about helping you directly. So send us an email when you get online to Jeff at brightwise.com.
Perfect.
Live chat with us if our live chat is on, or give us a call. That 888-794-6252 number is on our website at the top. And I look forward to speaking uh,
Oh, yeah. That's
with anybody that is out there watching.
that's so great. Well, thank you very much, Jeff. It's been delightful to reconnect.
Likewise,
Uh,
Jan. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yeah. Bye. Okay.